venimos a presentar el último proyecto de Woody, que como sabéis no tiene nombre hasta después del rodaje. Es nuestra cuarta película con él, de la que estamos encantados, tanto por retomar una relación, por la calidad del proyecto y por el casting, una parte del cual tenéis enfrente. Bueno, yo lo que creo es que a quien queréis oír y escuchar es a Woody, y Woody os explica un poco cuál es el proyecto del 2019, que empezamos a rodar mañana hasta el 20 de agosto en San Sebastián y en la provincia de Guipúzcoa. Quiero agradecer a las instituciones el apoyo que nos han dado. Nosotros estamos aquí con un amplio equipo de algo más de 100 personas, de las cuales la mitad son profesionales de aquí. Después hay centenares y centenares de extras y figurantes que también son de aquí. Le paso la palabra a Wally para que os explique de qué va su nueva película.
The project is that Mediapro and myself, we've worked together a number of times over the years, and we wanted to do another project in Spain, and I realized that I would be in Spain for several months. I don't like to leave my home in New York for a long period of time, so I had to think of some place that would be nice to be in for the whole summer. And I remembered San Sebastián from having been here once or twice to film festivals as an exceptionally beautiful city and very, very charming. And it seemed like a place that I would enjoy and my family would enjoy living in for the few months that it took to make a film. So I wrote a story based on the San Sebastián Film Festival that takes place obviously in San Sebastián. It's a romantic comedy, and it gives myself and it gives my family an opportunity to actually come here and live here for a few months, which is a great, great treat for us. So we're looking forward to it. We've had nothing but wonderful times in the brief time we've been here so far, and we look forward to making the movie here. Everything looks very picturesque, very beautiful, and as I say, it's going to be a treat for us.
Bueno, internacionalmente la distribuiremos entre nosotros y Film Nation, y domésticamente aún no tenemos distribución, pero aún no hemos empezado a rodar, no tenemos ninguna prisa y la anunciaremos en su momento oportuno.
I have not thought of retiring because I just never think of retiring. It's just not something that has occurred to me. Now, maybe someday it will. My philosophy has always been that no matter what happens, from when I started many, many years ago in show business, to just keep focused on my work and keep working. And no matter what has happened in my life with my wife, with children, with current events, with politics, with illness, no matter what has happened, I focus on my work and I keep focusing, and that's all that really absorbs my time and effort. I work 7 days a week. I don't think of stopping working. I don't think of retiring. I don't think of political movements or social movements. I'm just not equipped mentally to have any deep insights on those things. I deal mostly with human relations and people and comedy, and And as long as I stay focused, I don't think I will ever retire. I'll probably die in the midst of setting up a film shot one day on a set making a movie. I can't tell you the story of the film because I'm always very secretive about that. I can only tell you it is a romantic comedy about people from the United States who come to San Sebastián for the film festival, and the events that occur here resonate in a comic way with their lives, with their marriages, with people that they meet here. And I hope when I'm through and put it all together, this will entertain you. No, I'm really a product of the great actors and actresses that I've worked with. I take credit for their performances. I've been very lucky over the decades. I've always worked with great people. I direct them very sparsely. I don't talk to them very much. I give them a lot of freedom, and they are free to improvise, to change their parts, and they always make me look good. They always give great performances, and I take the credit for it as if I'm responsible. But the truth is, the actors that I've worked with over the years have always been a great reason for the success of my film. So I consider myself very lucky that way. We went about the casting in the exact same way we always do. I looked at film. My casting director, Patricia, made a list of people she thought would be right for when I gave her the script to read, she made a list of people she thought would be right for the parts. And she suggested a number of people, some I knew, some I didn't know. I was quite familiar with Elena from the Almodovar film. And we look at tape and finally came to the conclusion that these were the very best people for this role as I envisioned them in the script. So, as I say, I continue to be very lucky to be able to get precisely the people that I want to get for these roles. My hope is that they will have a good time filming and they will enjoy it, and that I'm really hoping that they will make a great contribution to the movie and I will look like a better director than I actually am.
Bueno, Elena, atacamos. Pues no sé, ha sucedido todo de una manera increíble e increíblemente sencilla. Yo había trabajado ya no con Woody Allen, pero con Jaume sí, con Jaume Ross había trabajado, y sencillamente me habló del proyecto, me dijo que el señor Allen, lo cual me quedé un poco patitieso de entrada, me proponía un papel en una película que iba a rodar en San Sebastián. O sea que, ¿sabes? Habían ya de entrada, antes de leer guión o escenas o saber que además mi personaje es una bomba, antes de llegar allí ya tenía el proyecto muchas cosas como para no dudar muchos segundos en decir sí. ¿No? Fue muy sencillo, me lo propuso, yo podía, y que te digan que a alguien como el señor Woody Allen se le ocurre trabajar con alguien como yo que tiene un inglés muy relativo, pues es de agradecer enormemente.
Y en mi caso, pues ocurrió también. Me llamaron, me dijeron que estaba valorando la posibilidad de trabajar conmigo y la afortunada fui yo. Él piensa que es él, pero fui yo. Leí el guión, me parece una de las historias más bonitas que he leído jamás, sin contarte nada, y un privilegio, una suerte de la vida, un daydream, un sueño de día, ¿no? De poder formar parte de este proyecto. Y ayer le conocí, me parece una persona absolutamente entrañable, un genio, una leyenda y un placer enorme de la vida poderme poner en sus manos.
I mean, kind of the same. really, I just got a call saying Woody's interested in you. It was actually a small part, and I was like, I don't care, I'm in, because I've always, as an actress, I've just always dreamed of working with him. And then we ended up meeting, and then it turned into a different thing, and they said, why don't you read the script? And I was like, yes. I mean, I just said yes no matter what. And then when I read the script, I kept pinching myself because it's such a beautiful script, and it's Woody and San Sebastián and this cast and Vittorio Storaro. I mean, it's like a dream come true. So it's what they call a no-brainer.
We all are constantly searching for things to do that we can be proud of. And as actors, certainly in my country, it's always hard to find those things. Working with Woody can be a very peaceful, almost dreamlike experience, unlike any that I've ever had, really, with anybody else. It's his dream, and we sort of wander through it in a very pleasant way, as if we were dreaming. And yes, I would do it really as a full-time job if it were available. I made my first movie with Woody. You might say he discovered me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have probably been an actor. So there's a kind of special magic to returning. It's a beautiful thing.
Lo siento, pero es que considerar que nosotros tenemos que ver algo de la carrera de Woody Allen me parece absolutamente fuera de lugar, ¿no? Nosotros somos una gota en su océano de creatividad, de talento, de cine y de la multiplicidad de cosas que hace que van mucho más allá del cine. El que diga lo que quiera, pero me parece una precisión absolutamente necesaria. No salvamos la vida de los genios se construyen ellos solos.
Yes, of necessity, there will be a certain amount of homage to cinema, because that's what film festivals started out to be, and that was my experience at the San Sebastián Film Festival. I sometimes worry that film festivals today become too much about movie stars and publicity and the commercial aspects of films, but when I started in the business, the film festivals were always about special films, homages to the special filmmakers who cared about cinema as an art form and got a chance to show their movies to an appreciative audience, movies that might not have been so commercially popular, but were very, very worthwhile and very, very worthy of support. And this is an aspect in my movie. The movie is basically a personal story of relationships and I mean a made-up story of relationships and hopefully an amusing situation, and a romantic one, but it's set in an atmosphere and cannot and does not want to avoid great homage to the great filmmakers and the great films that have emerged over history in the wonderful film festivals that gave these artists a chance to thrive. The temporary title, usually I don't title a film until it's finished, but here the working title of the film was Rifkin's Festival. Rifkin is the lead character of the movie, and so the movie was titled Rifkin's Festival, in relation, of course, to the San Sebastián Festival. The film would be ready to come out next year. It usually takes about 10 months or so from when we start shooting to get the film ready. By the time we film for a few months, and then we edit the film, and then music is added, and sound effects, and color is corrected. This all takes a lot of time and effort, and the film and prints are finally made that are acceptable, and this usually takes about 10 months. Sometimes, for filmmakers who make big films, Steven Spielberg or those kind of high budget, and it can take a very long time. We work on a lower budget and more quickly, but it still takes a good 10 months or so. I have no news whatsoever about its release in the United States. We have not been pursuing that too assiduously, because it's going to open in a couple of weeks in Europe and start to roll out all over Europe, and in the next few months it will be all over Europe, and the United States will either some distributor will come forward and distribute the film or not. I have no control over that. I can only make the film, and I hope that the people that see the film, whether they're in Europe or the United States, enjoy it. I've been very lucky over the years that I've had a very good public in Europe, and they have enjoyed my films, and I think from early signs that they are going to enjoy this one. But you never know. It could open and nobody in the world could like it, or everybody could like it. I'm hoping, I'm optimistic that my relationship with the European audiences will continue and that they will enjoy the film. As for the United States, there are no plans at this moment to release it, so I don't really know what will happen. I mean, it's out of my control. I will be filming all over San Sebastián, and in the immediate environment. I mean, we'll be out in the countryside a certain amount, but not far from the center of the city. A certain amount of it, because it's about, or takes place in the San Sebastián Film Festival, much of it will be around where the San Sebastián Film Festival takes place, and that's here in the city and the activities in the city. Though a portion of the film, the characters in the film will find themselves driving out to the country and seeing the beautiful sights of San Sebastián, and some of the scenes will play out in the more rural environments that surround the city, because there's so much to see, and I'd like to get it all in. I would like to convey to the world my view of San Sebastián the way I convey my view of Paris or New York to people, and give it my best shot.
Nos acomodaremos bastante al movimiento de la ciudad. Hoy no había gente en la Concha, quizá porque llovía, y aprovecharemos esos días.
No, it's not. There is no correlation between the difficulties in the United States and the tense political climate and making people laugh. If something's funny, they laugh at it. In fact, sometimes the nervous tension of difficult current events makes them laugh more easily. People want to laugh, they want relief, some of the best satire of the last couple of years have been in this administration, because there's been so much criticism of it and there's been so much complaining about it, that it spurred some of the most imaginative and best satirical humor in years in the United States. So comedy works every place and under any circumstances practically, whether the laughter is warm and full-throated or nervous and kind of high-strung and tense. I loved reading about film festivals when I was growing up. When I was a young man, I loved reading about, in those days it was mostly the Venice Film Festival, and I loved reading about it, and then the Cannes Film Festival became very important, and I liked to read about it. When I became a filmmaker, I did not go to film festivals because I didn't like the idea of, all the attendant noise and crowds, and I just felt I sent my film. So when I made my film Manhattan, for example, I sent it to the Cannes Film Festival, and I didn't go. Mariel Hemingway went and represented the film, but after a while, I was persuaded as the years went by to go to a festival, and I found it when I went. They took such good care of me, and they were so attentive, and that I enjoyed it. And by this time I was married, and my wife enjoyed going, and I always do everything to make her happy. So she liked going to the film festival. So I started going and taking my family, and I've enjoyed going to film festivals. What I don't enjoy is the direction that the festivals have moved in, as I said before, because I feel they should represent the highest form of cinema as art, and they should be festivals that really give a chance for great new filmmakers to come along and great veteran filmmakers to be at their best artistically, rather than a great push to get big movie stars there and show commercial films and jack up their commercial viability.
Bueno, ya habéis oído que Woody cree que el presupuesto es bajo. Yo siempre he creído que es alto y, en fin, como nunca hemos acabado discutiendo de dinero, sino de proyectos, pues tiramos adelante, ¿no? Como siempre, nunca hablamos de cantidades, pero él ya ha dicho que era low, yo creo que es high, y bueno, pues nada, el proyecto vale lo que vale, ¿no?
Empiezo yo, que creo que he entendido la pregunta más directamente. A mí me llega una llamada de este señor, que para mí es uno de los mejores directores que existe en el mundo, y me ofrece un guión maravilloso con un personaje extraordinario, único y muy entrañable. Y creo en la vida, creo en la justicia. Me parece que como actriz soy responsable de los trabajos que elijo, lo llevo haciendo toda mi carrera, y una vez más he elegido un proyecto por quién lo dirige, por los actores que van a acompañarme en el proyecto y sobre todo por el guión. Me parece una suerte de la vida que ese señor me haya visto un día La piel que habito de Pedro Almodóvar y que hoy esté sentada a su lado en esta mesa, y espero que él disfrute también dirigiéndonos a nosotros, y a mí como mujer pues, y como actriz me parece, como te decía, una suerte muy grande.
You know, as someone mentioned earlier, I mean, being in America right now, it's kind of crazy. It's a wild time. And I personally think that, you really have to look at every single situation and really, between you and you, decide how you feel about this situation. And I could say, with a very clear conscience and so much excitement. I'm so thrilled to be here. And as I mentioned, this feels kind of like a dream come true. And while I think, there's a lot of good that's coming out of all these different movements, I just feel it's really important that people really take a look at every situation and really make up their own minds about it. So I just feel very blessed and lucky to be here.